I think people recognize that these doctrines, if I can call it that, being prepared to use force, not negotiating with hostages and so forth, over hostages are very important principles, but a lot of success, it seems to me, in foreign policy making, for that matter, in domestic policy making, turn on the qualities of the people who are involved, and of course intelligence is required, but are there other qualities you think that one can think of when they're thinking about your success? I know I've often said to friends, I thought one of the formative influences that was very important in your later success was that you had a lot of experience as a labor mediator, and there you're dealing with two parties that are opposed, and you've got to bring them together. That happens all the time in foreign policy and in a wartime situation, particularly where you're dealing with foreign groups that are fighting each other. And as a labor mediator, you really have to be able to listen and figure out what's motivating each side.
That's right. In the labor mediation case, parties are opposed on something or other, and you're trying to help them work it out. And they know that after it's over, they have to live with each other. The workers are going to get paid by the management to do some work, and the management is expecting the work to be done so they can sell a product, and so on. So there is an ongoing relationship and a problem to be worked out in order to keep that constructive. That gives you an advantage. You have that to work with. And I think in foreign affairs, you have a lot of the same characteristics. And I always felt that one of the most important things to do was what you remember we call gardening.
Right.
That you go around and talk to people in ordinary times. You listen to them. You try to understand how they see the world. And I remember also when I would go around, I'd try to take enough time to say to them, show me something in your country you're really proud of. And they'd like to do that, and you learn a lot from that. So then when something tough comes along, you've laid a groundwork, and you're talking to people that you know, and that doesn't mean they're necessarily going to agree with you, but you don't have unnecessary disagreements. And sometimes even on a personal level. I felt in getting to know my counterpart, Edward Shevardnadze, in the Soviet Union, he wasn't going to do anything different just because we had a decent human relationship. But he wouldn't unnecessarily aggravate things either. And if you had a decent relationship, he could say, look, we're not going to do this, and let me tell you why. Or I remember once when we had our endless arguments about human rights, he said to me once, we might do some of these things that you're asking for, George, but never to please you. Only if it looks sensible to us.